Hello everyone, this is Grace of gbmaltese, and as you can see I have some Arteza boxes here, and I have something I want to tell you about that I think is very exciting before I show you what I have here. On Black Friday they're going to have a super duper deal on their website. What you'll need to do, I'm going to put their link below for the US and UK. You need to go onto their site, and when you go on there in a few seconds, a pop-up screen will come on for you to put your email address in. They are going to then send you a special code to let you see how much you can save on Black Friday. But you need to go onto their site. I've already done it. I've already put my email address on there because I can't wait to see what kind of bargains I can pick up. Now, I wanted to tell you that before I forgot because I was so excited when when Anna told me that they're going to have this great Black Friday deal. So, go on their site, even if it's just to sign up to get this great deal. You might want to purchase some of the things I've shown and save some big money. Anyway, what I'm going to show you today are some more alcohol markers. They sent me the skin tone set and they sent me the gray tone set. They asked me if I'd be interested in trying them out, so they sent these to me because if you've watched, you know that they sent me the 60 alcohol marker set. So this helps to complete the set because there weren't a lot of skin tones and gray tones in the smaller set. And as I was swatching them, and here's how they look. Beautiful. This is the skin tones. I'm going to take these boxes down. These are the skin tones, and as you can see, these can be used for more than just skin. And I did use that on some pictures that I colored so you could see. And then here are the gray tones. And as you can see, you have warm grays and you have cool grays. You have blues. Here's mink, dark chocolate brown, a brown gray over here. These can be used. I find that these two sets are wonderful for landscapes. They're very nice. They're good for some other things too, and I'm going to show you what I colored using these. Now, I went onto their site because I wanted to purchase a bag to put them in like I have for this 60 color set. Well, I did, and I went and I did purchase a bag. I purchased this bag. And it said marker bag. Well, I didn't read any further than that. I went ahead and just purchased it because I wanted to put them in there. When I got it and tried putting the markers in there, I realized it was for the Twee markers, their water brush markers. I also put my gel retractable pens in here, and there's more room for other things. And it works just like their other bag in opening up and lying flat. Now, Arteza, can I ask you, please put one down for the alcohol markers because I love your bags. So what I did is I had to go and I found something else. I really wanted this bag, but it's so much easier to work from a bag. I just went and got this little bag here. So you could see the markers, and when I was using them, it was easier for me to pull them out and to look at them. So, that's one thing I would purchase for sure is an alcohol bag because your bags are so nice and sturdy. Love them. Anyway, I've shown you my swatches. I showed you the containers they came in, and I did some coloring. Let me show you a few of the things I colored. And when you're using alcohol marker, there is a learning curve, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. On this one, you'll be able to see I got out of the lines pretty bad right here because I was using the chisel tip, and what you're going to realize is you need to color away from this line a little bit, and it soaks on into it. Now, I could use a colorless blender to get some of that off, but I just wanted to show you that. And I may add a border. I like to use a lot of times pastels for borders. I might use the markers. I just haven't decided. I haven't gone through and done my Posca pen on this one as yet for the lips and other things. But it's beautiful. I love these in these grayscale coloring books. But I use them in the other type also. Let me show you some more I did. Now this one I used only the, I believe I used the gray. I used the two sets. I used the flesh tones, and then I used, actually I think this is all flesh tone. Yes, it was. All of these came from flesh tones. Now the lips and the earrings, I used one of my gel markers that I got from them. An Arteza retractable gel marker in red. Okay, this one is another one I used only using those markers. And as you can see, you can get a good picture. I used the gray tone markers. This is, I believe it was a pearl color. And look how it made these stones look. It made them look real. Just beautiful. The colors are so smooth, and I'm getting better coming around the edges and not getting over. The smaller areas, I do use the bullet tip, and it's not as bad of bleeding onto the paper. I'm going to show you a little bit what I'm talking about in a moment. Okay, here's another one I did. This is another gray tone, or grayscale book. I love working in these. And look how beautiful. The stairs I did with a light gray. And I used one of the pinks from my 60 marker set. The hair, I used, I can't remember if I used it out of the flesh tone sets, but I think I might have. So I did this with grays, and it's beautiful. The colors you can get, and it looks so real. I just love using it. I used a marker for her cheeks, and then I went back over it with a flesh tone marker. Once you go over, I colored the whole thing in flesh tone. Then I put a little bit of the pink, and I went back over the face in a flesh tone. So, you have a lot of options with these sets. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you is, it's just a line drawing from Hannah Lynn. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did here. This paper is actually a piece of art. It's a mixed media paper that was in a sketchbook that I have. I just tore the paper out, and I cut it a little bit so it fit in my printer, and I printed it out. Yeah, you can use your sketch pads or your all media paper, marker paper, run it through your printer. I have a laser printer. And then, so that was all black and white, and I used, the whole thing is done using the alcohol markers. They have a color called snow. I thought that was fantastic. And then the flesh tones. Then I used markers from my 60-piece set to do some of the other areas. I did the trees with the markers, and what I did was I used strokes. I just kind of, using the bullet tip, and then I used another color, and then I came up in that direction to make it look more like bark. After I got finished with the whole thing, I used Wink of Stella over the snow to give it that little bit of a glitter. I used my Posca pen for the white snow, and to go through to get my detail, the shading, I used my Arteza. I used one of the darker gray pencils in my Arteza 72 professional colored pencils. I love those pencils. They're great. And I also did her cheeks with the pencils. It is so easy to go in, and what's wonderful about Arteza is that everything matches. They have the same names on the pencils as they do on the markers. The Twee markers have the same name, so it kind of gives you an idea where you might want to go with your picture. So this is what I did on my line drawing, and I love how it came out. Now I wanted to show you this little tip that I kind of figured out on my own, I guess. I used to use notebook covers all the time, or these are report covers, I'm sorry. I crochet also, and I use them to hold patterns in. Well, I also had some cheaper ones, and I got one of them out, stuck it into the coloring book, and it fits in there perfectly, and it stays very well. So this works great inside your coloring books when you're using markers or other types of medium. I'm going to show you what I was talking about. I'll try to show you what I was talking about when I was coloring. Okay, I'm going to pick out, let's see, what color is this? This is called Bubble Bath Pink. So, I'm going to, also, when you see the colored end of the marker, you know that's your chisel tip. I'm sorry, that's your bullet nib. So I'm going to show you on the chisel tip. I'm going to color some on her skirt. Let me bring you in just a little bit, so maybe you can see what I'm doing a little better. When you color it, don't go right next to her dress, to the edge of the page, because I want to show you something. Notice how it is spreading on over to it, and if it doesn't spread all the way, you'll just go back with your nib tip and go over it. So I like to use the chisel tip for these larger areas, so I don't have any streaking. That's one thing I like about these. And I'll probably do that band maybe in another color. Let me try to stay in screen here for you. And I just color here in this, just like that. Very easy. These are so smooth, easy to use. And the more you go over the picture, like if I decide I want the skirt to be a darker pink, I can go back over it with this same marker, and it's going to darken it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to concentrate not to get too close to that line, because if I get right on the line, it will go over. So you don't have to be right up next to that line, and if you go over it, it's no big deal. You're coloring for enjoyment, not I am. And you'll get better at it. And this is any type of alcohol marker. It doesn't matter. You practice with them. Any type of medium you do, the more practice you do, the better you'll get. And see how with these grayscale books, the shading is pretty much done for you. But you can use those gray markers, or you can use a darker color on this to make different colors. Okay, let me go back over this. Don't want to have a lot of, I'm sorry, I'm looking down here at what I'm doing and forgetting to check to see that you can still see what I'm working on. So, there it is, and so that's a little tiny spot right there. I'm just going to take this little bullet nib and go in and finish it off. Just as easy as that. Very easy to use. I really, really like them. So I'm going to go in here and might want to go in here and darken this area a little bit. I could use another color, and all you do when you use another color is go back over it with this color to help blend it together. And you need to use something in the same color family. So if I decide to put a little bit darker pink in here, let's see, I'm going to grab this. What I want to do, well, that's still a little bit damp. It doesn't have to be, but it does help a little bit. I'm just going to kind of go like this in these areas. And over here. Kind of doing this sideways, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. Decide to put just a little bit of that in there. And this looks like it would be a more shaded spot. So I'm just doing a little bit of shading on my own using the markers. I like to use the pencils a lot too. And then what I'm going to do is go right back over it with a marker I had used before. This helps to blend it in a little better. So, and I'll show you how well that report cover is working to keep it from going on to the next page. You want to blend in, or I'm going to go in circles here, go past it a little bit. It'll take a little bit of time to dry, putting on this much ink, alcohol ink on there. So I'm going to go back over these lines a little more. There we go. Now, I'm going to let that dry just a little bit, and we'll see how it came out. Okay, on the back of this page, it's black, but you can see I really wet it down. But look how this report cover kept it from going through to my next page. Wouldn't that have been awful? My next page would have been ruined. But, okay, let me pull you out just a little bit. Go this way. There we go. Now, it's starting to dry a bit. It's not completely dry. But you can see, you can go through and you can use different colors. Use them in the same color family. It'll be easier to blend. So, it did not ruin the next page. These report covers are amazing. And I have tons of them laying around the house. So, it's still drying. As you can probably tell, it's still wet. And I used a lot of ink. But it did not ruin the page. It did not ruin the page in my coloring book. It didn't make it peel or anything else. So, I'm going to let that dry a little bit more. Come on, dry off. It's going to look wet for a little bit. But, again, this one, I used the pencils to help, and I used the white pencil to give a little bit of highlight in some areas. But I want to remind you again about that fantastic sale that they're going to be having for Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, if you're not in the United States. So, be looking for that. I am going to also put a 10% off discount code below. I do not make anything off of these. They send me free products, and I do a review for them. I really enjoy their products, and I put my money where my mouth is. I will go buy products from them because they really are good. And I need a marker case. So, Arteza, maybe you might think about doing that. Anyway, that is starting to dry a bit, and you can tell a little bit more about it, but it's going to take a few minutes to dry. But that's how you are going to blend your colors. If it still doesn't look blended enough, you can go back over it again with the light color. So you go over it completely with a light, you'll put a little bit of the dark, then you go back over it with the light color, and it will come out much prettier. I probably might go over this again. And there she is. Just that part. Okay, that's all I have, and I hope that you learned something from this review and that you go check their site out. Go sign up for Black Friday. Okay, you guys take care. Hope you're having a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.